Hello, everyone. That's like the world's longest lunch break, I know. But I'm back. Let's make sure the stream's working. Make sure the sound's working. Just give it a second here. It says stream ended 47 seconds ago on my dashboard, so let's refresh the dashboard here. 47 seconds ago. Cool. We're working. Let's go. So earlier, we built this. This is what will render the area that we're gonna scan for the blueprint. There is this bug though, and that bug is once that block goes off screen, the whole frame itself or area goes off screen. Hey, Fry.
Hello.
I'm sorry. I told you I was going away for lunch and then come back, what?
12 hours later.
Something like that. I fell asleep and then my wife woke me up. It's like, we gotta go to the grocery store. And I thought, okay, it'll be an hour. We'll be at the grocery store. We came back. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock. We're like, we haven't even eaten dinner yet. So we ate dinner and then had to do a couple chores around the house. So I'm back now. That's what matters, right?
Yeah, we both know you went to the carnival.
Oh, that was a good one. That's what I did wrong. Okay. I need to look for the bounding box setting. 1. You still in No Man's Sky? Gosh, couldn't think of the name of it.
No, not right this second.
Oh, what are you doing?
Talking to you.
I didn't know that. Thanks, Fiery. I've never known. Sarcasm is strong with this one, it is. Wait a minute, it's on the tile already. What am I doing here? Okay, where's the stupid thing? I was looking
What
at the
is
block.
this thing you're making?
It's the block we'll use to scan the blueprints.
Okay.
We're calling it a holo scanner, as in holographic scanner. I was originally going to call it a laser level, but it doesn't really fit for what it's doing. And this makes it sound more futuristic, and why not?
Right.
That's the renderer. We want the holo scanner down here. And this should have... I mean, if I have the tower crane down here, this should have its get max render distance squared. Okay. That's one piece. This should be a bounding box. Get render bounding box. Infinite extent. So it's just going to draw this tower crane no matter how far away you are? Really? Wow, okay. I mean, that's not what I want to do, but I will do something similar with a smaller bounding box.
All right.
So we'll say area BB.
Are you supposed to be streaming?
Yes. Am I not?
No. I was gonna say because your name doesn't say it isn't for purple first of all, and I can't right click on you and say go to stream.
Oh, it's a Discord bug. Okay. I thought you meant Alex because I wasn't streaming on YouTube.
Well, go to YouTube and check, but I suppose I could.
Well, I had to disable streamer mode to do the settings. Funny.
And no, you're not streaming according to YouTube.
But I can see the stream on YouTube on the page.
I'm on your page and it doesn't say live anywhere.
Great. That's why no one's watching.
Maybe
Heck
you're
connections.
recording
YouTube.
instead of
No, OBS says stop streaming, not start streaming.
I don't know.
I don't know that Discord links to YouTube when you stream live on YouTube.
There. Now it's saying that you're live.
Which thing
That's
is?
a hell of a delay.
What thing is?
YouTube.
YouTube says I'm okay. That doesn't surprise me too much. I've only been streaming for 5.5 minutes or so. Okay, how do I enable streamer mode again? Dang it. There it is.
My bad.
You're fine. There you go. Streamer mode just keeps you safe in Discord. If you accidentally show your Discord, it doesn't show any of the settings about your account or anything like that. That way you can't accidentally show the world everything. Okay, so we can expand it by a certain amount. We can.
Yeah, I'm taking a break from making my millions in No Man's Sky.
Okay. Hey, if you want to do something on the modded server tonight, we can. Like, we can try and get people on here and we can try and kill the dragon or something. I'm all for that because I want to get my elytra wings sometime.
See, that's what it really is. You just want to fly.
Yeah, I want to fly. Why would I not want to fly on there?
It misses the jet belt.
Okay, so I'm just going to say 1, and that should grow it in every direction. And that will cover the actual block, and we're good. In all directions. Excellent. That's a super cheaty way to do that. Okay. And then the render distance thing, from, what the heck did I just do? Was it on the holoscanner I put that in? Yeah, okay. So the render distance was the other part from the tower crane that we need to do. Render distance squared. So we'll take 32 times 32 and pop it in over there. And that should be okay. Let's see, can we get that from the tile entity and see what the default value is from tile entity? It's 4096, which 32 times 32 is 1000, so that's actually higher. So I'll leave it as is and we won't override that because it won't matter on this if it disappears a bit early. So that should be it. This should allow us to see this thing no matter if we're looking at it or not then. Find out. The other thing I need to do is set the last to negatives. That way it'll automatically kick in and say it's different than this and set it. So it'll always be 1 by default. So right now you have to open the GUI, click the button to make it go 2, and then back down to 1 if you want it to show, because I don't calculate it until there's a difference in them. Now there will be.
Right.
Huh. Cool, now it's not rendering at all. Now it is. It tells me that bounding box is not getting set right. Right, the bounding box is positioned at 0 basically. So if we're not staring at that location, so do we need to offset this even further? Dot offset by this dot block position. Get position, whatever. There we go. Now it renders no matter what part we're looking at. Perfect. It's like, how many times have you done something in a modded environment fire where like you set an area and you're not sure if it's the area you actually want because the bounding box doesn't show. Like you can't tell what the area is that you're working with. That's what I wanted to set up with this thing. Having it as an item on your hand, I couldn't have done that. But having it as a block in the world, I can. So now I can reliably say, okay, this is going to scan my structure that's that tall from this corner to that far upper corner, and I don't have to do anything else. Or if I'm saying, okay, I want to make it 2 taller, it's 2 taller now.
Nice.
Now, I'm not 100% sold on the way the lines work at this point, or the way the lines look at this point, but it's functioning at this point, which is the important part to me. So now I need to hook into this button save and grab the code from the other item, and then it will save it too. The block itself looks like crap still, but I needed it to be directional because that's the other thing. It is directional, so the front is always that smaller end of it.
Okay.
Because when you look at the GUI, it says front, right? So this is the front size, how many blocks it'll do out the front of it. And this scans, right now we've got it set so it maxes out at 32 by 32 by 32.
It's pretty decent size.
Mm-hmm. It's huge. I'm trying to bump it up here all the way. There we go. So it's that big of an area. Anybody with a bigger blueprint than that just needs to save multiple blueprints, I think.
I'll remember that when I'm copying my castles.
But you can do that. Like, you can set down another blueprint scanner and boom. Or another hollow scanner and you've got another one. Another blueprint. Now, let's adjust this rendering because it's driving me nuts that it's not very visible. Be on the model, right? I don't know, we'll find out. Hollow scanner render. No, it's in here, okay. So this is the code. It's not very bright because of what? We're not setting the... GL 11 dot. You know what? I've got this set up on the render overlay code with different options I want to be able to utilize in here, so I'm going to cheat. So enable blend. Close others, please, because there's too many things open. Drives me bonkers. Got over 100 files open on this window. Okay, good. Take that out, and then you need to disable it then at the end. How's it look? Now it's showing in red. I don't. Oh, okay, because we set it to pure red. It's at 0.4. Let's set it to white first, just to see how that would look with this 8 wide render line. Okay, let's do 1 on the alpha as well. Huh. It's doing this weird thing where it's brighter than one sometimes than it is other. Like right there, it's pretty dark. I don't know why.
Huh. Because it wants to be stubborn for you?
Yeah, it really does. Let's try disabling blend. Let's see if that... It's almost like it thinks it's rendering inside a block. Because you know when you put... you may not know. If you put something inside a block, it gets really dark in Minecraft. Stuff like... I don't know if this is going to work. I put the skeleton, if I can spawn him in underneath there. It's in peaceful. See how he's really dark instead of white? That's because his head's inside the block. Okay, let's do this too. Set this to 222. Save and quit. Go back in. And we get a crash, okay. Okay, so if area BB is not null, and we do this, else return super. Does that work? Temp temp equals that. Return temp. Really? Can't call super? Like it's got to return. Okay. Wow. That's a complicated one. Not in chain table, so it's gonna go down to this line basically. And call the get collision bounds on the block itself. Let's say return. That should take care of that crash we just had. Hopefully. There might be another crash related to it, but that specific line won't crash it anymore. Let's also load up the server world. Because, like, I really want to get to the deep... Not the deep dark. CZ got me thinking deep dark for some reason. The bleak dimension, and I also want to kill the dragon. Oh, that's the wrong one. This is the server one there. Okay, no crash. We open it up and it shows that. So it's still not showing it correctly. So are we saving that to MBT? We are. Interesting. Oh, but the client doesn't know it. You still might need a packet or two in here to tell the client, hey, here's your size. Okay. Is it this? No. This. Look at that. I can make the color change by placing down an ender chest and looking at it. That tells me a lot, actually. So we're setting something that's not getting reset correctly. Wife's messaged me. Okay, sorry. We're trying to set up a thing where we're going to go to a gaming expo here in Ohio in October, me and my son, and he wants to take one of his friends, and his friend's asking, when are we going? Like, what time of the day? Stuff. I'm like, it's in October, dude. I have no idea. Like, I know what day we're going, but I don't know what time of the day yet. It's too far out. Okay, so it's rendering, but discolored when there's no ender chest on the screen. When there is an ender chest, I would say that is white. So what in the ender? It's like it's not going in alpha mode or something. That shouldn't be matter. It's not the depth mask. But it would have to be another state that we're not setting. Because whatever the ender chest render is doing is it's setting that bit, and we're inheriting it because it's not unsetting it? Man, I can look at the ender chest render. Client, render, lock. I don't know if they have anything like a tile entity render concept. Chest render. In chest. Setting textures, rescale, translate, color, maybe color. But wait, we're doing color too, aren't we? Must be this one. Yeah, we are. We're doing the exact same color. Setting whatever this matrix mode does. Which is probably going to be in the native stuff, but I can't look at and see what it actually does. Yup. I'm not going to mess with that, I don't think, because I think that's something completely unrelated. Normals? What if we say enable? Okay, what's the blend mode it's using? It's not. Okay. Position color. And we'll say dot color 1 1 1 1. Cool, now it doesn't want to render at all. We fix broke it. It's not in the sky again. Okay. Clearly it doesn't like that. Or one is alpha. That could be. What was that shortcut? Control Y. .5F. I know this is so exciting, right? Typing. Interesting. Now it's showing. Still does the same thing, but it's showing. Okay, at 0 it disappears, which is weird because 1 disappeared as well. What if I get a piece of glass? No. Fence? No. What about a enchanting table? Is it something about the ones that do particles? Redstone dust does it too. Okay, so that's not particle based. Those two are both partial blocks, but that doesn't do it. That's a partial block. What about chest? A chest does. So it's all the vanilla tessers, maybe? Tile energy rangers? Let's put a beacon down. No. Shulker box? What do these have in common? That when we're looking at them, there's some state getting set that's not set when they're not in view. Like, is it in the... No, there's nothing funny here. Unless it's this matrix mode stuff. Let's try that. No, don't like that. That's before the push matrix. Okay, it's no longer given that error. Awesome. Now it's attached to us. See, that's why you don't mess with things you don't understand. I'm looking at it in your chest over there. I don't know. Let's try your Uncle Google. Actually, wait a second. If I look at this example stuff, what alpha source mode we're going into? We were doing that originally, which matches up with that code. This is saying 0.4. That red, green, blue, bind texture 0. That could be it. GL state manager dot bind texture 0, so it doesn't use a texture anywhere. Nope. Hey CC.
Hello.
That's calculating a normal on theirs. Can we say color, position, normal? Normal. I don't know what the normal would be. Which axis this would be off of, really? It's gonna be different for every line too. Normal. Okay, so I don't know who it is, but they said Quack, so I'm assuming Gazer. Yep, Gazer. Oh, hey, Fusion.
What? Gazer's in chat? Go to sleep.
Let's see if we take this, turn it into that. Place all. And look at it. It's going to look like that. Ah, there we go. It's with the normals. So now we just got to calculate what the normal should be. It's going to be a vector of 1. They're going to be along each of the axes, or axi, or whatever. This one should be along the x axis. This one should be along the z. Wait, let's just see if this works. Before I do all of these. No, don't crash, please. My system is freaking out right now. There we go. What the heck? Did you guys get that flashing on the screen? Oh, wait. Okay, let's confirm it's not something else I did and it's this normal piece. So we're going to take dot normal out. Hey, that's pretty looking. I know why it's doing it though. Okay, so not having a normal calculated makes it be weird unless there's a ender chest on the screen. Then it shows lit properly. Okay, so if we say this should have a normal, it freaks out a different way because it don't know what to do, I guess.
So just always keep an interest with you.
It's a multi-block structure and you have to have an ender chest. Problem solved.
Yep, that's why you keep me around.
Come on. We're gonna find that. We're gonna replace that with this. Oh, come on. This. Like that. We get an extra one there. Okay. So this one should be 1. 1. No, wait, I was doing it wrong. That's why. It's along the axis that doesn't have that. That doesn't change. So this is moving along the x-axis. So its normal should be calculated based on the z-axis instead, or something. That could have been
I'll be
one.
back.
Oh, look! That one's working! I just figured it out. Okay, fine. We've got 2 working. Because I've seen it change colors. So... What? Why does the line renderer need a normal at all? It should just be the color that you say. Let me check one thing. Minecraft Forge GL lines normal color shading off. Because the block has shaded too. Hold on a sec, let me... I want to re-enable this. That's what I'm after. Now, can I get rid of this? Completely. Go back to just position mode. Bingo. That's what I want. And now we can set the alpha to something that's appropriate. 0.2. So is alpha being ignored with lighting disabled? Let's do that. Do that there. Still see it. So this makes sense. The reason I went down this path of using lighting instead of the normals is the normals are only really used for lighting. To calculating the light that's received by a face, right? Because if a... I wish I had my camera right now. If there was an angled slope like this and a light ray came in, it needs to know what light should bounce off of it at what angle, basically. That's what the normals are used for. So this works. Should we leave it at white? Should we make it a different color? The white does stand out pretty good. Set time, set night, time, set midnight. I can't do that. Let's see. 18,000. So it stands out really good at night, but yet also it'll stand out in the day. Save and quit to title. Hey, Gazer. You can't talk here, Gazer, right? I think you have voice power.
Hello.
Hello.
I said white in my head, I think.
Okay.
Although I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, so this block will allow us to...
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
1 second.
I can't barely hear you. I need to turn you up. Oh my, you're all the way up. You're 200% up.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
So it's a block to scan blueprints, basically. Block blueprints. So build
Look
some...
like that old chunk loader.
Gotcha. What? Yeah. It does kind of look like a chunk loader with that ball on top of it. Like, was it Buildcraft chunk loaders have that?
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, it'll scan a
It's good.
32 by 32 by 32 area up to. And then I've got a tower crane.
Yeah, I'm not up to date. Good day.
Tower crane block. Take that block, tell it which blueprint to build, and it'll start building it.
That is super cool.
There you go.
Does it take resources
It will when I'm done.
when you're done?
Yeah. So it's got an inventory to hold the resources, but it's not checking them yet. It's just magically making them appear for right now.
Wow, that tower is huge.
Yes.
It's massive.
How do you know
It's so tall.
which area it's going to build in? As in to the left of it, it seems. But, well, left is...
That's part of the reason I wanted to work out this blueprint stuff, because I'm going to do something similar with it, where it'll
Yeah.
kind of demonstrate where it's going to build before you hit start on it.
As in just the build frame, as in the white barrier, or is it going to have like a holographic interpretation of what it's going to build?
I thought about both ways. I could see, so right now if you hit tell it what blueprint, it just goes. But I'm thinking once I tell it the blueprint, like it won't start it. There'll be another GUI we can go into that'll like adjust where it's going to place it. I would love to do the holographic of the build itself, but that might be a bit much. because we're talking up to 32 times 32 times 32 blocks I have to fake render, right?
Oh, so you're doing 32 max?
Yes, for the blueprint
Okay.
size.
Cool. That's fine.
And the main reason for that
That
is
a big crane.
the crane's arc, right? So the shortest distance that the arc, like this thing can go out to, is the end of that arm, and it's about 32, so about 2
That's
chunks
fine.
away. Yeah,
It's already massive, so.
exactly. Now, CZ, you said it's massive, but look at the height of what it could build up to. It could build clear up to here, so it needs to be taller than that so that the gantry can move back and forth above it. It is a bit extreme still, but eh. My favorite part is it's only 1 block high. You can actually jump on top of this thing and stand on it right there because it's a block.
One block. It's one by one. Wow.
So 1 by 1, about 1. It might be 2 because I can't jump on it. I had
Can
to
you
fly over it.
climb it?
No, that would be cool.
Yeah. Like laddery.
Mini excavator or bobcat? No, I haven't. We thought about adding a forklift, which would be relatively small like that, but haven't done it.
So what's the server running? Because I've just loaded it.
The server that is talking about in the mod channel,
Yeah.
or whatever, mod testing server channel. So that is my mod, FTB utilities, journey map, Morpheus on the server so we can sleep vote, inventory tweaks, a couple other just quality of life stuff. But it's mainly my mod, right?
Testing, yeah.
Yeah, it's testing for my mod. It's on the latest build that's private, but that latest build doesn't have this tower crane stuff I'm working on right now because it's not ready for being on the test server even.
Am I admin? So I can mess around? Oh no, I can do that on single player mode. That'll do.
You might be admin on here anyway, I don't know.
Ooh,
Yep.
I am. Where are you at? Let's find out.
Go north. There's a plains biome from the jungle.
Good day.
Reasons why I'm asking is because it's kind of hard to make and fit in smaller mines. Yes, and the loader's problem is height mostly, right? Like you're sitting in it and you're in blocks. That's why in tier 2 there's this underground loader that people had requested that was more of a short device, and also an underground dump truck. And both of these are very, 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 like, I just have the models in here, they're not functioning right. So they're intended to have their bounding boxes much shorter and not cause problems. Whoa, that's interesting. Over on, am I standing outside the world? I need to be in here safe. The bounding box for entities is now extra fat because I made it fat here. I thought it would reload, but apparently it doesn't. Like, it doesn't keep the old size.
Oh, so it update.
Okay, so Fusion, you need a little bit of a explanation of things on the world, how it works. So I'm gonna go to a different world here. Okay, what the heck am I in? Oh, laser miner. Here's a good spot. I'm gonna get the drill. I'm gonna get some anfo, which is a type of explosive. I'm gonna drill into the side of this wall. I'm gonna put explosives into it. You can see, oh, it's all dirt there. Dang it. Let's go down a bit. I'm going to drill into this. You'll see when I do this and put explosives in the front of this, it's packed all the way back as far as it drilled, that explosive, okay? And I put redstone on this, like a lever. Give it a redstone signal. It blows up, right? It's explosives. Those blocks, if you didn't notice, tumbled down. So if I were to break, say, this block, one of those other blocks is going to fall in to replace it because they're affected by gravity. Okay, why is that important? Let's get a hillside and do the same thing. So we have some open air where we can use our loader. Okay, detonate that. Okay, it all tumbled down. Use a loader. Need to figure out why the loader is rendering like this in my hand. Okay, and you notice it's picking up those explosives. So in a real mine, stone quarry, they will blast the stone, it'll tumble down into the quarry. They will pick it up with a front end loader, haul it off, put it into the crusher, whatever. And that's what this is trying to simulate. I used to work in a mine, or a stone quarry, or for a stone quarry. I didn't work in the quarry. So this blasted coal. We will take this blasted coal, which is one of the ores, right? And put it into a primary crusher. Boop. And we need to give it some fuel. And we put in 12 pieces of blasted coal. And once it's done, there it is, it's done. Out of that, we got 36 coal. So it's doubling our coal. For iron, it'll triple it if it's blasted, the crusher will. If it's not blasted, just regular iron, it'll double it. Lapis, you get a ridiculous amount of. Redstone, you get a decent amount of. Diamonds, I think you get a guaranteed 3 diamonds. So instead of using fortune and sometimes getting more, this will always give you more. It might be 2, I can't remember. All of the vanilla ores are handled by it, basically, and giving you more if there's a blasted version of it than the vanilla version. So that's the reason for the loader. The loader is intended, yes, you can pick up dirt with it, but it's mainly about getting the blasted material. Because when you get a big enough hill of it, and say break this piece of it here with the loader, it just keeps piling into the loader, right, as it tumbles down the side. So you get a lot of it really quick that way. Let's see, I need a loader on this server real quick so that I can test something. Huh?
I love the mine. Well, the what's it called?
The ravine?
There we go.
Yeah. When we got on here, we found that ravine. We're like, that's a cool ravine. And I said, we should live in a ravine. And then we built a house on top of it, outside of it, and put everything in there, and then started kind of prettying up the ravine, but oh well.
Never fully moving in. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I want to
Wait, how
pick
do you
this
hold
one up. Yeah, see, the item on the ground is different here. It's showing this, but in my modded, or in my dev world, it's an item in my hand that's 3D rendered. I actually don't want that. What were you gonna say? Gazer?
I was asking where the hole is to get down.
For
Where you just fell.
where I fell? I'm going to it. You see the little cobble, like, archway? It's there.
Okay, I'll go with that.
I'm also coming up right now. I'll be right by it.
In the ravine, right?
No.
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah, and the 3D version of it is messed up because where is it? Like the loader bucket is beneath it. So if I don't want that.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, this archway over here. So this hut here is our vanilla-ish mob farm. but it's got conveyors in it that push all the mobs up here to us. So you can just XP farm it, kind of thing.
There's a slime in.
They're also slime chunks. We made sure it was a slime chunk, and then we're like, we originally made it as a slime farm, and then we're like, we might as well just kill the lights and like get vanilla mobs with it too. But here's the drop shaft. It's water. Your faith.
Cool.
Hey, Colton. There's a continuous miner down there and a loader down there if you need them.
Ooh, continuous miner. How does it work? Just straight up mining. Yes, of course.
It just chews through everything. The only thing in the dev version that's better than the continuous miner is the laser miner.
Cool. Lasers. Very
Cool.
nice. So it's a continuous miner. Can you aim it up? It doesn't mine enough to make a full cavity straight away.
No, so you have to work the bucket or the arm up and down.
Yeah.
To get it to build a big enough area in front of you. But if you go too far down, it will allow you to dig down, staircase down one block at a time, kind of thing. Okay, so let's get out of this world. Let's go back to this one.
And are you oh, the load is empty because you picked it up. Oh, go and fuel it.
So at the end of this, we need to set the geo line width back to 1. We need to clean up after ourselves, I guess. And then that makes these actually have the right size again. But yet those are still big. Cool. Although I don't know that the 1 is the right size. It might be 2, I don't know. Minecraft, what do you normally have?
Like the dinosaurs at the base of the street. They're cool.
I think that's right. Okay, so now we need a packet for this thing to come back and say what it is when it first gets loaded up to the client. Because it doesn't know on the client until you go into the GUI otherwise. Seems like a waste to have to build a packet for just that, but our lighting's getting disabled at certain points for this. There's nothing in here in an if statement though, so both of those should run, so it shouldn't be my code doing it.
Holy crap. Be cow farm.
What's that?
The cow farms, like, yeah.
There's also a new block that you haven't seen before inside there. Bless you.
Pardon?
There's a new block inside there you haven't seen before. The feed trough.
Ooh, yeah, I see.
It's probably not got anything in it right now.
But I assume it does the same as feeder.
Yeah, so it's like a 8 radius from that. It looks for entities that can consume the food item that's in there for breeding, and then breeds them. It will do 1 or 2. Oh boy, you're going to teleport to me.
Okay.
There you go. It has checks too to make sure like there's not more than 200 mobs in its bounding box that it's looking for them, so it doesn't overrun a server kind of thing. But as long as you keep it stocked with food, it keeps these guys breeding. Their babies go underneath the one high gap. They go into the lava blade. And holy crap, we have a ton of...
Yeah, I just grabbed some stuff.
I've just been chucking anything that's raw beef because it's pointless at this point to have raw. Let me get rid of crap because we need that leather constantly. It's probably getting to the point where it's getting close where we don't need the leather anymore, but I might as well take it if we got it.
I've got a full inventory.
Oops. Just trying to grab as much as I could.
Yes.
There you go. And then the beef, I've got a crate full of beef over here. Right. Like, the crate is getting pretty full. 5.1k.
So what's the crate? Is that another... Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Cool.
Right there by the door. Right click it with the item in your hand and it'll put it in there.
When
Left-
you add that?
That should be in the public version.
Well, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's been a while. So if you hit shift, it shows you how much is in it.
Ooh. And it's rounded. Lovely. Is that your tool?
Where?
A hammer?
Yes. So Zach found a bug with that hammer. That's why it's in that. If you pop it off there, you'll see its durability. Use the F3, what is it, H for the tool information or whatever. It has like negative a billion, jillion, something durability. When it hit 0, it never broke. It kept working. I still have to fix that one.
Very cool. What does it do?
It's used to apply work to the assembly table over here. So the very first thing you would want to do once we get everything working properly is use the assembly table to craft like a generator, which could power these arms to do the work for you then.
So you need to do it.
Yeah. In our case, because the assembly arms and generator aren't quite working fully yet, we used the hammer and just clicked it till we had the continuous miner, because that's the only way to make continuous miners on that table. And Zach set up his auto clicker thing at like 1 click a second, and it went from 0 to 100,000 in like 2 minutes. Him on the hammer. So, yeah.
Auto clicker. Oh, on his keyboard.
Yeah, just like the macro on his keyboard.
You'd have to do that yourself, though. That would be great. But that's for the continuous miner, which you shouldn't be doing anyway.
Right. And we just did it so we could get it. We know once the generator stuff's working and all that. I'm
I saw the
thinking,
wiry thing photo.
huh?
I saw the photo of the
Yeah, the wire
your
conduit.
plumbing, yeah.
The power in the mod's probably eventually going to switch over to RF, just because I don't want to deal with my own power anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Cheaty farm, huh? Cactus farm.
Very cool.
To the north there, if you want wheat, just across the river, there's a tractor and a combine over across the river with that wheat farm. That's what we've been using to feed the cows.
Just expand more.
Right, I did expand it just last night. Because, like, we need to keep this thing stocked, because it would last maybe 20 minutes to an hour or something in that chest before the feed trough fed the cows enough. So right now on this server, there's two things that we can try and do next. Get enough wither skulls to go to the bleak dimension, or kill the dragon so that we can get the elytra jetpack thing and then fly around the world as much as we want.
I forgot you had a dimension.
Yep.
Crazy. You haven't defeated the Ender Dragon today.
No. We need to, because we found the end. We put, I think we put all the eyes in. Maybe all of them but one, I don't know. We just haven't coordinated it to get everybody around to do it.
Where's the tractor?
If you're across the river, just relog. Sometimes it doesn't show. Yeah, I can see it over there. That work?
Yep.
Cool. Wait a minute. Get Stack Overflow. What was it? 22:58. So that was about 30 minutes ago. So we'll say that wasn't now. Wasn't in the current code. So let's continue on now that we've got this thing rendering nice, big, and fat. It shows up great. Let's make this actually do something, because I think when I click that, yeah, it just throws errors, right? Null pointer exception. Here, let's clear this. Let's get rid of the tower crane. There's no errors in the console. Torch. Save. Null pointer. Okay, that's what I thought. Blueprint helper init. Blueprint server handler. There we go. So we're calling the blueprint stuff there. So this needs to be changed to record the block that we're clicking the button in. On the save to server. Oh, we are getting the position. Really? Well, that's cool. Oh, it's position 1, 2, and 3. Oh. Or 1 and 2 for the X, Y, and Z. Okay.
It's annoying it drops you out of the harvester quite high up in the air.
Thank you. Can you overpack explosives for drilling? From a lag perspective, you can put too many in at once, yes, but we've tested some pretty big areas. When the lag does happen, it's only for like a few seconds at most because all the blocks falling. Thank you for telling me that it's doing that. I was going to try and fix that. I keep forgetting. So let me take a look real quick, because I think I know a way to fix it now. Not that it's dropping you out too high, but that you take fall damage from it. If I can...
But would it...
Because it'll also kick you for flying if you jump and then go into it. And I know how to fix that now. Because on the conveyor, when it's lifting you, it resets your fall time or something like that. So you don't take fall damage when you come off of it. Because like originally it would lift you up, and the whole time you're lifting, it would calculate your fall. And then you would like fall over all the top of the conveyor onto one one block down, and you would die.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah. Fall distance 0. That's what we want. So now in the machine mod writable, what is our player in update? Where's update? Guess it would be server side that we need to do this.
God,
And yep, no problem, Fusion. Have a good night, man. Bless you.
Oh,
I think you're sick, Gazer.
nah, this just happens now. Every time I like wake up.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know. I might spend some time, like, I don't know, recovering before I get back.
That should, in theory, fix the problem. At least the fall damage thing. So it was the combine, right? That you were in?
Yeah.
Damage too.
Would be good if all vehicles did it, just, yeah. But then, not all vehicles do full damage.
Oh, Colton, yeah, you definitely... They are powerful explosives. If you're blasting here, you want a vertical wall between you and the explosion. For sure. If you're not in creative mode. They pack a punch. A vertical wall of cobble is all you need. And like, if you had your lever out there, do something like this, right? And then redstone. Like going off to where your explosives are. And you can stand behind this and still flip the lever, right? That way you're not gonna die. So, Gazer, to answer your thing about you should do it for all machines, yeah, I agree. I'm trying to do it in the class that all of them inherit from, but I needed to test it with the machine that's doing it to see if it fixes it. Limit 0. Well, I just got out of it, didn't give me fall damage. See if I jump and hop in it. Now it's not kicking me on my client. But let's undo that line first. Make sure it still does it for me. It's not. Yeah, they're a bit stronger than TNT. Okay, it's not gonna kick me for flying anyway. Well, I'm still leaving this change in here because I think that'll fix the flying thing. I just need to test it on an actual server. So where is my GitHub at? Here it is. Possible fix for flying kick or flying in machine when jumping and entering the machine. Yeah, the other thing that is probably doing a lot of damage to you is, you know, TNT when it goes off. If this is TNT and get rid of one. There we go. And this is TNT. When this one detonates, this one just gets ignited. It doesn't detonate right away. Whereas my explosions, when this one detonates and it hits this one, that one detonates in the exact same tick, and so does this one, and this one, and this one, and any other of them. That's part of the reason why if you set a big enough area with my explosives, the lag will happen, but it will happen for a very short period of time. Versus if you set up a whole field of TNT from vanilla, the explosion will start with one block, then go to another and another and another, and it's happening over a longer period of time that they're all exploding, so there's more lag for a longer time. I think most of my lag comes from all of a sudden there's 100 entities, falling sand entities, that need updated with physics. Not the actual explosion. Okay, so back to scanning with this blueprint thing. We could commandeer the first position stuff and ignore the second position stuff, and I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. The first position is going to become the position of the block that we're reading this from. So now wherever this is being called from, this constructor, we need to pass in those values. So right now we're just saying 1, 0, and 1. Well, we don't care about that anymore, because the handler doesn't look at that information at all. So we're just going to say this blocks, this tell block, this position for these. In fact, we'll say if tell it's not equal to 0, just to prevent a, or not equal to null, I mean, prevent a null crash. And then we'll do that. We'll take these definitions up here. Int y, int z. That way they always are there and available with something. And we'll say XYZ. Okay. Blueprint saved to server. Bye fire. Why is it airing off? Oh, because we probably need to set it to initial value. Oh, if that if statement doesn't ever come true, it still sends something. There we go. Okay, so now if we go back and go to the handler, we can get rid of this junk here because that's not actually valid anymore. And instead, we're going to use that XYZ coordinate from the message to do a lookup to get the tile entity on the world that the player's in, blah, blah, blah. We still want to get the temp ID, I think, because it's used for the name of the player, for the file name. So message.x entity world get tile entity by a block position. Okay, so we're going to take block position BP equals new block position, and it's going to be message dot position x message dot position y message dot position z. And we say block position tile entity equals tile entity TE. we'll say if is there an instance of one in here? Thought there was. If TE is an instance of tile entity hollow scanner, then we'll cast the tile entity to the hollow scanner type. TEHS equals TE cast it to that type. TEHS dot position 1. 0.1 becomes this. Get rid of this, this, and this. THS dot point 2. I'm gonna say this. Actually, let's call the whole thing. There, and save. I should do it. Let's test it. Run config machine mod blueprints. Okay. I'll put this over on my other screen here. That. And let's look at that one. So we should have several torches in here, but that's not what I want to do. Let's put a piece of redstone lever there that's activated, and a glass piece up in that far corner. The very top. We'll leave everything else be air, and this should be enough of a test to tell me if I'm getting the whole area or not. Because I can look for the lever and the piece of glass. And everything else should be air. Once I delete all the other blocks, it is. Okay. Glass, lever, test. Okay, did create it. That's cool. Edit this with Notepad++. There is my lever. Looks like it scanned the hollow scanner. So the positioning is slightly off. We don't ever want it to get itself. Did it get the glass? It did. Okay. Let's put this glass one into the tower crane and see what it builds. So glass lever test. And that's probably the scanner. Yeah, see, it's placed in the scanner. That's not right. And it's placed the lever. Oh, that's so cool. Placed it inside the thing. And it should place a glass almost right up by it. And it did. And then, okay, so it's just one block too much. That's all. So the position for the block itself is all that's messed up. And the rotation... We'll worry about the rotation later. But this was facing to the east. Okay, so... Where is my code? There it is. In the calculate of the hollow scanner itself. That's not it. I would assume it's position 1. Yep. So we need to offset this to the east by some amount. So if I went east 1 block and dot south, that should do it. Then go, okay, so for the north, it needs to go north 1 and east 1. Okay, and south should be south and west. And west should be west and north. So basically what I'm doing is 1 forward and 1 to the right. I just happen to know that the right is east for north. Kind of thing. Okay, so let's do lever 2. Save. Hey, Gazer.
I'm back, but I won't be constantly on because I'm sniffing like a madman.
Oh.
So I have tea. I'll fix everything.
You're not bothering me any, you're fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand you're sick. That's not sick, but like not feeling
Yeah.
well because of you.
Anyway, continue.
Let's see, what's it gonna do? It's gonna do the glass still. Awesome. No, don't do the... Dang it! Well, let's see if it's because of a bug inside this. Really? So it still scanned it? Close all. It still scanned the hollow scanner. How? Okay, let's try this with a smaller area then. Okay, so that one's nice and small. we will put a lever inside that. One lever. Save. One lever, please. What did it put down? That's so weird. It's doing both blocks still. I saved this. Okay, let's go in here. This is on both client and server, so this should be running. Switch. Get this. There we go. Now it should keep running. Okay, so now if I go in and do what? Get rid of this first off. And this is what we scanned in. Oh, did we not change the size? That's it. We just hit scan again. So this was still invalid from before. That's probably it. Derp de derp. So, one lever, take two. One lever, take two. Okay, place the lever. And again, cool. So now if we look at one lever, take two. It's got lever and air everywhere. What do you mean new machines? What are you talking about? Oh, the ones I just picked up, yeah. Those are going to be part of tier 2. It's the underground loader and underground dump truck. They're just shorter versions, basically. Okay, so now if I did this and get rid of this breakpoint as well because it's going to be annoying. Okay, so whatever that size is. Yep, and I'm going to put sandstone out here to verify that we're not getting too much, right? So if it gets any of the sandstone blocks, we did too much, and it's glass, it's okay. This is already telling us if we get too much there, so we can say lever glass 2, save. And this is facing towards the east. Lever glass 2.
So where is it saving that?
It is saving it to a text file. Well, it's a text file that's binary.
Yeah, I saw it's
And-
a file, but is it in the server? Say if you had a server, would it be on the server?
It would be on the
Or
server.
your- Okay, cool. So
It's... Go ahead.
say if you were if you didn't have access to the server, then you would have saved your blueprint to an inaccessible place. So if you wanted to take the text file and bring it into your single player world, you couldn't. Or what?
Right, so if you're on a server and you click save, it does not save it to your client at all. If you're playing single player and click save, you technically have a server running in the background, you
Yeah.
just don't realize it. So it still saves
You
it on
have
your...
access to it.
Yeah, you have access to it. So it's really no different than like World Edit, right? If you're playing with World Edit and save the schematic, it would oh, it went
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
of my mouse.
yeah.
It would mess up basically. It would
Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank?
You wouldn't be able to access it.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the server
Yeah.
only. You need the server admin to say, to download it for you and give it to you. So this is messing up because we fixed this corner and moved it over. We're still adding in the correct amount over there. So now we've shifted it up and right and back to the far extent as well. So that was why I did that test. So we actually needed to either reduce this by 1 down here. Oh man. That just made it a lot harder, I think. Because I think if I were to build the same blueprint facing this direction, it would be okay. Maybe. Uh-oh. It's on. These guys are dueling. Or he's challenging Eagle to a duel, at least. If Eagle accepts. For honor. You missed the rendering fun earlier I was having, Gazer. These bounding boxes for the blueprint thing. They're all bright now, but they were all dark before. But if I had an ender chest on my screen, they were all bright. If I walked past the ender chest, they would turn dark again.
Amazing.
It was beautiful.
Bet that was a fun one to figure out.
Yeah, it was lighting and normals, that's all it was. Took me a while, but got there eventually. Trying to make some flat lands so we can build this without... Oh, maybe Eagle's not there paying attention. Maybe why he didn't accept.
Just duel me.
So, you see the dinosaurs at the bottom of the stream? They're stream
bloody hell.
avatars.
You can duel them.
Yeah. So just being in the chat, chatting, participating in the little games I can trigger to run. You'll get gold and there's a leaderboard and you can duel and challenge each other for the gold and all that stuff.
Bloody hell. I assume you ooh, dance. No way.
Yeah, and he dances. There's a little bit of lag, of course.
Yeah.
And so, where is it? Stream avatars. There we go. So if I start doing this,
So who made the avatar thing?
it's actually on Steam. You can. It's like an app on Steam you can just buy, right? So I just dropped in a bunch of stars. Those stars are with the 50 gold points if you exclamation point jump and catch them.
But then there's some lag. So
It makes it
how
hard.
do you do that?
You have to time it just right. Eagle somehow is really good at it, determining how much lag there is and can get it like first try half the time.
Oh. But I'm not on screen because I haven't been talking, I assume.
Yes. And Eagle did it already. He types jump once and gets a star. I don't know how.
Come on, go, 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 go. Oh, that's so much lag.
What else is there? There's a battle royale we can do. All the little guys battle each other. Can't control that one. There's basketball, and you type two numbers. One's the angle and one's the power. And you're trying to shoot your character into the hoop that's on the screen. You can do slots, so you can bet money on them.
Why am I on fire? Okay. It's just a jumping animation.
Oh, you're on fire if you catch a bunch of them. Okay, so how can we do this? My blueprint 2. Did we fix it? No, we didn't fix it, did we? Because I think this needs to be moved up into here so I can determine which direction to take it off of. So we're going by the enum facing still. We're going forward by that amount, but if I take one off of that amount, that might work still. If I just subtract 1 from both of these. And the up. Does that work? We're at 0.2. My blueprint 2. Save. No, wait. Let's change the size so that code runs. Now save. My
Why did it
blueprint.
look like it was continually placing blocks into the same block?
The tower crane?
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't stop once it finishes the blueprint right now. It just continually loops through building the blueprint over and over again. There we go. That's the right area now. Okay, so if we're scanning an area to the east, it's working correct. Right, that's facing east. Yes, so now let's do this one. And we'll just put a smaller area. If any of those blocks appear in it, we know it's wrong. And this is to the south. South. Save. South. Okay, get another lever. Don't do any other block. Yes. Okay, so south's working. We will do a torch in this one. And this one is to the west. Put your torch down. Cool. At this point, there's really not much of a reason for me to not believe this is gonna work, but I'll try it anyway. Redstone dust.
What about other people's mods?
Should be fine
Cool.
for most of them. So, let's say this one first. And I'll explain what I mean. So north is saved. Okay, so the way that file format works is it's saving the registry name, not the block ID. So it should be compatible across worlds and with any modded block as well. And the other bit of information beside the registry name you need in order to fully support everything is the metadata in this version of Minecraft for that particular block. So the log in Minecraft, for example. What? You can't search for log? Okay, so the wood, if I do F3H, isn't it? Yeah. Wood is technically ID 17, metadata 0 for oak, but 17 ID metadata 1 is spruce. Those would still be Minecraft log. You can see that name at the bottom there. Both of those are log, but the metadata, the 1 or the 0, is what makes up that flavor of the log, right? So that's why you need both of those. In later versions, they get rid of metadata altogether. In 1.14, 1.13 maybe, 1.14 for sure, it's no longer in Minecraft. They don't have metadata anymore.
I suppose you need to.
They're all different blocks.
Of the block.
They're different blocks. Each log is a different type of log in newer versions.
Yeah, that's fine. But what about if the lever was placed on the side of a block? Has it got the direction it was placed on?
So if you see over here on the right, it says facing up, Z. That translates to metadata.
Oh, okay.
On the file itself. So when you look at any of my blocks, there's a method on every block that's if I go, where's one of them? Hollow scanner can be one of them. So its state is a facing state in this case. Get metadata for state. So it's taking the facing direction north, south, east, west, right, and turning that into its index 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, and that's the metadata for that particular block. If we look at something that's more complex, say the what's something complex in my mind? Jeez. Oh, drilled stone. Wherever it is. Explosive pack drilled stone. No, just drilled stone. Drilled andesite. It's going to do a similar thing with its facing, but its enum facing is different in this scenario because it's not just a horizontal facing in this case, it's vertical as well, potentially. That's kind of a bad example too. I don't know if I have anything more complex to show you. Corn has its different growth heights, so it's age that's in there. But that's what makes up the metadata. That metadata gets stored on disk still as an integer. So let's test it. So here we've got a lever like that. What's Gazer lever 1? Gazer lever 1. Save. Let's place down tower crane. Have it build Gazer lever 1.
What happens if it's placed on a block and the block isn't there to hold it?
Yeah,
Does it
no,
try
it's
placing it and then it falls over?
wait a minute, it just placed the stone again.
Oh no.
Did we click on the right thing? The heck's it doing? It's placing glass up in the air and everything. We might have a bug, guys. Gazer lever 1. Oh, that's glass lever 1. I can read, I promise. I read the wrong thing. Your name's Gazer, not glass.
Glass.
Yeah.
What was I trying to say? Oh yeah.
There,
So
place this in.
if the lever's placed on a block.
Yep.
And the block isn't there to support it on the blueprint.
Like that.
Like remove the block underneath. Yeah, that, or remove the block underneath what it's printing now, I guess.
Yep. So I'm gonna name this as Gazer 2. Now, I've only scanned the lever. I haven't scanned the block that the lever is on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna break this and replace it here.
So I think in other things it just tries placing it and then it drops off.
It shouldn't.
Yeah. Just tries placing it and it leaves it there.
It should
It's
stay
a
there
random
until it
block
gets a
update.
block update. Exactly. There it is. Now, if I blocked updated it, it pops off immediately. Now, the reason I did that, I did it on purpose, because if you take, for example, something that has to be on a supporting block like this,
I'm
and
back.
okay, blah, 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 I know names. Hi, Fiery. You missed the other part of it, Fiery, which makes it even funnier. So, if as this thing's printing out blocks, it's doing it like this, right? And if it comes to a point where this block is there, then it's the lever and then this block, it can't place them in that order because it's printing them like along one axis. So it's got to place the lever first, then this block. So if I scanned both of these, which I'll do next, to the front, right? And we'll call it Gazer, I don't know, 4.
What if you put the block behind the lever now that it's floating in midair? Will it update and fall off even though the block's there?
No, it looks like, because the block is there, so it doesn't need to fall off.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
And when my tower crane does it, it'll be perfectly fine as well, because it's not sending out a block update at all when it's placing its blocks on purpose in order to allow this.
Yeah.
Now, there's a chance a random update will come through, but yeah, nothing I can do about that.
What happens if you place water? Or can you even place water? I assume you can.
I haven't tried scanning water. That's a good question. So there we just placed that block, and it put the lever on it. So that works just fine. So
And if you did that in the opposite way around, it would still work as you just said.
it should, yes. So let's try it, see if we can get it to do it. If we did. I mean, you're giving me good examples of doing different tests, so I'm all for doing it.
Okay.
5.
Oh, and it stay. Well, yeah, it would save the on-off position.
Yeah, because it's part of the metadata. Oh, I didn't even see it. Did I win? Ah, you won. I missed it. I accepted it and then didn't pay attention. Okay,
What if
so...
you placed a battery with 100% charge from a different mod? Oh, what the hell happened? Would it give it the 100% charge?
So if that 100% charge is stored in metadata, it might, but I doubt that it is, because that battery is probably a tile entity, and tile entities don't store their data in metadata, they store them in MBT instead. So we'll have to see how tiles work and all that stuff. So you had a good point. What about water? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Wet Gazer. Because that's water of 2 different heights even. Wet Gazer. Has nothing in it. Oh, it places the water! It doesn't show anything rendered in it. It's hand. And then the second one actually updated it, it looks like. Huh. What is it attempts to place an item? Now, right now, I don't have it coded just for should this really happen kind of scenarios, right? It's more...
Get it wicked.
It's dumb and we'll just do whatever you tell it to do.
Ooh.
What do you mean by an item? So it can only scan the blocks in the world. If I just throw an item in there, it's not going to do anything about it. If there's some other type of item you mean, like if you mean like redstone dust, we already tested that. When it renders pulling it out, it actually looks like that redstone dust. So if something like this were to occur, I would probably have to make sure that this thing has a bucket of water in it, and that gets kind of ugly fast. So maybe I won't let it scan water. Huh?
Your grinder, the block,
Grinder block.
like some block that has fuel stored in it. Is the fuel in metadata?
It won't be metadata. It's MBT data. Crusher. Right. I'm not sure if I'm gonna let it do any fluids, to be honest. Okay, it placed it. If I open it up, there's no fuel in it, even though the one we scanned has fuel. Because again, it picked that it's this block and the metadata about the block, which is the directionality of it, and saved that, but not the MBT data. Now, maybe I'll think about saving MBT, but that gets kind of hairy with mods because they could have power, they could have items, they could have, you know, are we duping an AE system full of items kind of thing? I don't want to do that.
That's what I was wondering. What about a signpost? As in the letters box.
That should be MBT again, I think, but I will try it. It's rotation. Gazer likes test. Yes, he quack. There. Quack. Well, I just went to the extreme alt with AE systems because you can put so many items in, right? Gazer always quacks. Colton, not Carlton. Yeah, so the sign's there, but no text on it. Because again, that should be MBT data. So if we looked at this sign, the information over on the right is it's a standing sign and it has a rotation value to it, right? So those two pieces of information make up its metadata. And again, this one the same thing. It's standing and its rotation, but not its there's nothing about what it actually says because that's MBT data.
A music block with a music disc inside it,
That should be inventory, right?
which is
It-
not
it-
MBT.
It's MBT.
Metadata.
Music disc shouldn't. I wouldn't think that it would be metadata. Maybe it is. Depends how they did it in vanilla.
Same with a chest and items.
Chest and items would be MBT. We'll test. No, not yes he duck. Yes he quack.
I quack now and again, so I'm crazy.
Armor stand. Is armor stand technically a block? It's a good question. You guys are like coming up with awesome testing use cases here, but I don't know that a tower or a.
Yeah, I thought it was an entity.
I think it's an entity too. I didn't put anything in that chest, but I'm 99% sure it's not going to have anything anyway.
If you didn't put anything in it,
Yeah, I know.
100% sure.
Chest. Boom. Let's break this. Break this. Place this. Do chest. I'm saying is an indie. I thought so too. And we can prove that by the fact that if we do this and do F3B, it's got a bounding box and an eye line and everything, because that's an entity. If we look at it, there's no indication that we're looking at a block, because we're looking at an entity. There's nothing over here that says what block we're looking at, but it would look at the block. Huh?
And I doubt it gets hit from swords. Or punching it, sorry. Don't know why a sword.
Yeah, it even makes it sound like you're hitting an entity when you punch it. So, no chest data. Music disc from jukebox is what it's called, right? Okay, so F3 has record is false. Let's put one in it. Now, it doesn't say what the record is. It says that it has a record.
We'll get like a glitched record that's not. It could be like a special record that's not supposed to be in the game.
I'm pretty sure that is not gonna work, because there's also something else I didn't tell you about that determines this stuff over here. Now we've got Minecraft sounds, music playing over my sounds. Wait, did it just try and place a jukebox and not do it? Oh, okay. So if I look at it, it says it has a record. Let's toss this record out of my inventory. I have no other records. It says it has record false, but nothing came out. As soon as I right click on it, nothing's coming out.
Well, that's basically good then.
Yeah. And no one's gonna know that it has a record in it by the F3 screen, and if they do, they don't care. So what's probably happening is it does have an inventory, which is saved in MBT, and that metadata is just there, but not correct all the time. It's a block. I would assume it's a tile entity, because it's got to have ability to play the music. Maybe not. Jukebox? What's it called in vanilla? Jukebox. It is a block container. It does have a tile entity.
Your inventory blocks from your mod store in metadata. I mean MBT or whatever.
Say it again?
Your chunk blocks. You know, the crates. There you go.
They have MBT for the inventory, yes. So this is writing MBT out. That is the record item information. Record item. Get record. Where's get record? And record is an item stack, it looks like. So it's actually an item stored in it in MBT values, which is why it's not transferring over. Okay, so let's see, what are these other questions? Command blocks. The command itself in the command block is MBT. I know from other projects where I've scanned things in the world for like demon depths and stuff.
What about the damage of a block? Like, what's it called? Not the enchantment table, the one that... The one that fixes things. The anvil. There you go. But that's...
Just
as in,
different.
I'm asking now, can you...
Repair it by just putting it through this.
I assume you would require, when you require resources, you require the damaged resource.
That's what I'm thinking. In order to support something like a log of a specific type, we would need to look at the block's name and metadata value associated with it to ensure that they're both the same. Which means that you would need a very damaged anvil, because if you look at these anvils, they all share the name anvil, right? But the difference is that after the slash, 1 0, whereas 1, whereas 1 2. Okay, so they're asking about command blocks. Do you only, or due to only being able to place a command block if you're one, a player who's up, a player in creative mode, and two, a player in creative mode. So you're saying, can it place a command block? It would be able to place it in its current form, but that's probably something we need to code for to ensure that it doesn't scan a command block and doesn't place a... Well, yeah, the command block stuff gets kind of funny. Because I could see places where if command blocks were enabled on a specific server, the op might want to be able to scan them, but we probably don't want somebody to try and place them, but they'd have to get a command block, right? So that's the whole thing with this thing is right now it's creating whatever we're placing automatically, but it does have an inventory, right? And the intent is it won't place anything unless it's placed in the inventory. So you would have to obtain a command block for the tower crane to actually place it when I'm fully done with it. So it's not breaking any game mechanics because you would have to create a command block and put it in here. And you can't do that unless you're an op. You can't give yourself a command block. Or an op has given it to you, which I take it as they're giving you permission to do whatever you want on the server anyway. You can't possibly allow a fresh anvil to replace a damaged anvil. That's up to the builder. Right. So, like I was saying, I think we need to make sure that it's checking both the name and the metadata of the block that you're supplying it and matches what's on the blueprint, both pieces. If blueprint requires resource, then unattainable blocks are totally safe. Right. I agree with that 100%. I think we're okay in all cases so far.
And what about a painting that's multiple sizes?
Paintings are entities, aren't they?
You tell me.
I think they are.
Okay, well that's fine then. That makes sense.
I mean, I can see a bounding box on it. When I look at this, I'm seeing one entity in the world. When I go past it, there are 0. So I'm looking at this number up here. Kill at E. The type of... Like, can we summon it in it? Summon... Minecraft painting. Yeah, they're entities. So the painting acts like a mob egg, basically.
Okay.
It spawns it. Thank you. That was the command I was looking for. Kill.
What about an activated boost track? If you give it the resource of an unactivated booster track.
Now, this is getting technical. I like where you're going with it, though. It's the stuff we got tests for. So that's a powered one. And it's only powered because this one is making it powered.
Yeah, but I assume that your place are powered.
I would
Then
assume
you
I
should
would
be able
place it powered as well. The only thing is the other piece I didn't tell you about. So like fences. It's easiest to demonstrate with fences. So there's that fence and that fence, right? They're both the same. All of these connected pieces say false. But as soon as I put this one in the middle, the one in the middle says true and true on the east and west. The one on the end says true on the east. The one on the right shows true on the west. They are all the same metadata. They are all the same block information. What's different is there is another state type that's used only for rendering that is determined based on the attributes of the block where it's at in the world, right? So to Minecraft, all three of these are the same block, and their shape and render is different just because there's other blocks next to them. So if you were to look at the save for this world, it wouldn't say that this is connected to any other fence. It would just say that there's a fence there. And then it figures out when it's rendering it that they're connected.
So, more due to the climb being there.
Yes, the server doesn't know they're connected together at all. It doesn't care because there's no reason to. That you can't walk through them and from a server perspective. I think, at least the way I do my blocks, the powered state, whether they're on or off from redstone, is done via that get meta for rendering or whatever the thing's called.
Say then if you had a chunk loader. No, that's the same as a player being there. I was gonna say if a mob entity tried to walk through a fence, or something that could. I don't know what could, but if the player wasn't there and it tried to do it whilst the player wasn't there, then could it do it?
But mobs don't try and walk through a block that's occupied, and that fence is considered occupied.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
The fact that they're connected together doesn't really matter because you can't walk through them either. I know what you're saying. Like the server wouldn't see them connected, so there's a gap between there. But to the server, there's no gap at all. It just sees it as a block, a full block. That's why.
You could like squeeze in between. No, you can't. I must be.
Yeah, you can't.
Delirious.
Use two different types of fence. Yes. You can squeeze through them, but mobs don't try it, right? Mobs don't try and do that because it sees them as a full block still. See, they're rendering together in this version. Now, if I did like nether brick fence, I think that, yeah, those don't. I can fit through there. But mobs won't try and go through there. Okay, so let's scan this one. We'll do rail test.
I doubt fire will scan, right? There's nether brick and then fire on top.
Maybe, but how are you gonna attain fire? How are you gonna obtain fire?
As in put nether brick underneath and then put fire on top and then just scan the fire.
Right, but in order for the device to say it's not powered.
What?
Now I placed it again, now it's powered. What the heck? That was cool.
Why is it in a different direction as well?
Because that's how rails
It's like
work.
one way then the other. Break it and then. Alright. So the first one it places is false and then the second one is true. Is that right? Yeah. And then west.
Well, Colton, that's a good question. So Colton's asking about lily pads. So if we put water underneath and a lily on top,
And then scan both.
then scanned just the lily, what's going to
No,
happen?
just a lily.
Because the lily's on the block above, the water's underneath the scan area.
Or is... Oh yeah, it is. Oh, it'll just place it on the floor then, right?
I think so. But will it pop off immediately or not?
Wow. I assume not with the block update. Nonsense. So what happened there? The first booster track was then
It's
off and then
placed it. But as soon as it gets an update, it's gonna pop off. See?
You can make weird things that shouldn't exist.
But the game fixes itself too, right? As soon as that gets an update, there's even random updates
Yeah,
that
but
happen in the world. It'll eventually
You can
pop
make a
off.
whole wall of levers,
With leathers.
and it won't update. As in levers on the
Oh,
wall.
levers, yeah.
And,
Oh,
you
if
know,
that would be so
unless-
cool though, wouldn't it? We need
I
to do
know,
that
I
now.
know. Or torches, just torches. Oh,
Wait a minute. Okay, we're getting off testing. We're going full size lever wall now.
well, torch wall. Or lever, yeah, both.
This is gonna take a
I
minute
think
for
it
me to
would.
build this, but this is gonna be cool because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break one of them and it's gonna go and just
Oh, yeah,
update
yeah,
them
yeah.
all. That's the only reason I want to do it. Which one? Sorry. Oh, I didn't see which one you're talking about. About the fences? Or breaking immediately? It didn't break the lily pad. The lily pad sits there, but as soon as it gets an update, it breaks. Well, okay. It didn't break because it placed it at the exact same time. Notice it's gray. But it breaks. You don't think it'll work like what? You don't think they'll all just instantly break? So the only reason like the lily pad is not breaking and it's allowed to be placed is because I'm not triggering a block update to occur as it's being placed. It's before
Well,
this. Okay.
a
Nice.
beacon's an inventory, right? Or is it?
Beacons in your inventory. They have an inventory. They also have
Okay, but
MBT
what
data
if
about what
it's-
it's selected.
Yeah, so what if it's selected a high class and it's got blocks underneath it to make it a high class and then you recreate it? So it's MBT, so it wouldn't work.
I wouldn't think that would. I think it would
Right.
still scan the blocks underneath. Because it's also the way that. So, a pyramid of blocks. I'm still trying to find which message you're talking about. Oh. Two different types of fences you can walk through. Entire blocks and block get updated. What about lily pads? You can walk through them. Move the carpet? What about the carpet? Oh, you put carpet on top of it? Yeah. So, you know, the pyramid, if this breaks, there's no block update for that block. Or if the one down here breaks, there's no block update that triggers the beacon itself to get one. Extended piston's a great point. That is probably the most problem one potentially that we've discussed so far, besides the water. I see water as an issue. We might just not allow it to do water.
Why is water an issue?
It was placing the different states of the water, so you know, flow level 7 is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And also there's no block for water, it's a bucket of water that you need. That type of thing. So it's a different scenario, it's not a normal block.
And you could scan oil, and then it would place an oil source block, but then that's fine.
But you'd still have to supply it, right?
No, I'm gonna die. Yeah.
Extended piston's a good one. Once I'm done playing around here. Gee, if there was only an easy way to build a bunch of blocks all at once for you automatically.
Oh, fiddlesticks, I died.
Wait a minute, there is a way for us to build a bunch of blocks for us automatically. What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? And what is its newfangled way?
Oh, you and your commands. Yes, that command will work much easier, won't it? But we also have this great device in my mod called a grater that we will place down and then get a crap ton of dirt in inventory. Drop all the items immediately, please. Okay. Boop. And drive. Ah! It fell off. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna be any faster than the command though, right? Because I'm gonna keep falling off like that. So out of F5. Okay, so slash fill. Welcome back to hold my beer and watch this.
Could have just not made it that tall. Although you still have to fill it all.
No, I want all of the levers.
Oh no. Oh, no,
Minecraft. Sandstone. Oops, we took out the blueprint. Somehow. There we go. And then we need to do the same thing with levers. But we would need the MBT data on them, or we have to place a bunch of levers. Placing a bunch of levers is going to take forever, isn't it? Why am I not doing this on the server so you can help me?
Then you have to like update the mod.
Oh yeah, true. Well, one of them's going to be on. Nah, the grader won't place levers. It only places a couple different types of blocks. That makes sense. Sand, dirt, soft stuff, basically.
Couldn't you like save it now? Then tell it to place it.
The tower crane accuracy of placement right now is not there. I don't know where to put the tower crane to make it build it here. They'll butt each other, exactly. That's what I want to have happen. Not as they're being placed, but when I break one, I want them all to break. Oh, the other thing, we have to wait for the tower crane to actually place all these. Not the fastest thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's enough. That's enough for us to just mess around. Lever. Get on. I don't know. There we go. Lever getting. Do lever getting, please. No, they won't bud. I don't update when I place the blocks. That's how they can hover in the air. Ah! What? They shouldn't be butting each other. There shouldn't be an update triggered. I'm glad I didn't place them all on that wall and scan it and find this out.
I was wondering because the water block, I assumed both if they weren't, I assumed it shouldn't be flowing. If two water blocks were next to each other and none were updating, then they shouldn't have flowed. Remember when we did the two heights?
I do remember we do the 10 to 2 heights, but I don't remember what you're talking about though. Like I don't understand.
After I placed the two, it flowed outwards.
Yeah, true.
The first one it didn't. The second one placed next to it, it did.
So it's
Because it updated the first.
butting the block. It's updating the block next to the block that gets placed, but not updating the block that gets placed.
Yeah. Right.
block place set block. So it's in my blueprint helper. So we do a block update
Yeah,
there. What's that?
Do.
We do.
You said do.
Yes, Colton. It's the second block is updating the first block. The first block doesn't get anything updated on it. It's updating its neighbors, though, which is the issue. I believe that's what that one does. So I could modify my set block state with another parameter to allow it to not pass that. But I don't know if that's going to have some other weird ramification if we don't set the flag to 2. There's probably places where I'm doing it without setting it to 2. So when I'm placing my portal, for example, for the bleak dimension, bleak portal,
Combine is making some very weird lag whilst I'm pressing forward. It's like jittery.
gee, I don't know what you could be talking about. Entity combine.name moved wrongly, being spammed in the console.
Whatever.
Like
Wasn't me.
a dozen times a second or something. Was it me? I'm not in a combine. Who else is on the server? Oh, Gazer. Teleport to dimension. There we go. And place in existing portal. The cat did it. There you go. Transfer player to dimension. Update. Blah blah blah. I want to see where we place the portal blocks because we had to do it so that they weren't updating anything. Set block state. There it is. Use flag 2 to prevent blocks updates from breaking the portal frame as it is formed. Just lover it alone. I hope that's a spell check thing. We won't be doing that tonight.
Hey, I'm gonna take off, guys.
Okay, fine. Have a good night.
Yep.
I'm making the tractor do some wrong moves now. Ooh. I mean, not me, obviously, but I can see the tractor doing it itself.
So, in theory, it should handle it just fine. But we have not tested it whatsoever as far as this blueprint thing is concerned. Wall. So things like that are going to be funny. And also, that's going to be tile entities involved, and I'm not sure I want to save tile entities at all, because they're going to do funny things. Yeah, let's just try that one. I think I called it wall or something, right? I really need to save that name. Look at all the levers on the ground.
There's quite a few levers.
Let's modify date. Wall block. Now in this case, because of the order that it's scanned it in, like the directionality of it, it's going to be okay. Because it's placing the block, then the lever, block, then lever, block, then lever. At one time, what I had done when I was doing Demon Depths, there was 2 passes, right? One pass would place all the normal blocks, then another pass would place things like signs and chest and all that, so that I could get the text on the sign and the contents in the chest.
So what if you remove the block prior to it placing the lever? Oh, that's the block date.
It'll place the lever, and it'll place the next block up.
And then remove the next block up,
And then it'll place the next lever, and then that'll update the lever below, and the lever will pop off.
Yeah.
Oop. I mean, the moral of the story is you scan stupid things in, like a wall of levers with no blocks supporting them. It's going to do stupid things.
Damn it.
I
I
mean,
wanted to make a wall of levers.
I know, it would have been so cool to just take them all away at once. Here.
I see you can still travel underwater in tractors.
Ha 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 ha! We took them all off at once. Yeah, probably. You'll drown, bless you. What's this about redstone and TNT? What about placing TNT, then a block of redstone? I'd imagine it'd be updated. I also imagine it'd be update.
I wasn't drowning whilst driving a tractor underwater. That's what I'm trying to say.
Was your head underwater?
Maybe my head was higher. Maybe I should try lower.
Maybe I should come see. What defines a droppable block from a normal block? You mean like one that updates and falls off? I'm not sure. It's probably in the code of the block when there's a baby zombie after you. He's catching up, I think.
Water. It'll be fine. Oh, I can't see the damn tractor.
I can't either, actually.
Yeah, that's probably not
Oh,
low enough.
jeez! Ah!
Oh, come on. That should be low enough, right?
You don't immediately drown, though, right? You're gonna lose all your air bubbles.
So
So-
I just can't see my air bubbles.
Yes, my air bubbles, I've lost like 3 or 4 air. I'm now about half.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh.
Okay, Colin.
Maybe I should, like...
Use a crane to place a TNT in friend's house, then secretly replace redstone. But you couldn't scan it in is the issue. Right? You couldn't scan in that setup because the redstone would already exist. No, because it's placing what's in its hand, and its hand only has one item at a time in it. And oh, I think I see what you're saying. I was thinking you were thinking for the speed. I was gonna say I could speed it up if that's the issue. But visually, it's got the block in its claw that it's gonna place. So what I would like to do is the next block be rendered here visually, not actually placed, and it comes and picks it up, right? And I might change the bottom appearance of this to like some type of thing with the block comes out of, and it picks it up and pulls it over. I don't know, it looked pretty bad. Like at one time I had this thing running full tilt to build something, and it wasn't that bad. I also am doing things like you must come all the way back, park, then go down, right? Instead of on its way back, it's traveling down too. So like we can speed this up. I purposely animated it to be very deliberate in its movements. Do like one movement at a time kind of stuff. Oh. Because I just liked the way this looked, basically.
So it could be faster in carrying no blocks as in returning.
Yeah. We can adjust the movement speed completely.
Anyway,
In fact, it is kind of fast going in and out right now anyway. What would be really cool is if I could get some sway on this so that the thing kind of like swings back and forth. You know what I mean? Like a pendulum.
okay now.
Yeah. I'm not going to try it because
It's
I know
Minecraft.
better. We already got a lot out of me from making this thing extend in length because those are a rendered cylinder and they're changing length dynamically. So like a little bit of lag in the claw being behind the gantry moving is what I meant. So the gantry would go forward and then the claw would be delayed behind it, just like it is in the real world. Like if you picked up a yo-yo by that string and moved it forward, your hand would move forward before the yo-yo would realize that it should move forward as well. There's a little bit of delay when you move it fast. And then when you stop moving your hand, the yo-yo itself would swing forward past your hand a little bit. I got completely distracted by this whole thing. It was cool though. Right, I don't want to have to create a full in physics engine, that's why I haven't. And also, you notice like right now, these blocks are all here. Look, the arm goes inside the blocks, it doesn't care. It's not really there, it just looks like it's there. There's only so much I can do. I guess, Gazer, that's another thing this doesn't do that we will probably need to do, is make sure the area is cleared. Right, because right now it'll replace any block that's there. So if I put a diamond block floor in here or diamond block tower there, it's just all gonna magically turn into these sandstone blocks and not get broke at all, just disappear. I think I might be done with the coding part for tonight because it is getting late. I think I'm going to go feed the cows. Or did you harvest that field? I didn't pay attention.
Harvested and fed.
Cool. How many? Not too bad. We kind of need more materials then, don't we? We probably have enough leather to like make the entire nether conveyor belts at this point. But we don't have enough iron probably. Unless there's some.
Crate.
How do you make it?
Ooh, okay, that's expensive.
Yeah, the ender pearls. That's the reason why I want to kill the dragon too. So we can get pearls.
How much can it store?
How much can you steal?
Store.
Stole. What?
Store. In the...
Oh, more than you want to put in there? It goes from K's to M's. All that, I think. It's a big number, whatever it is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Cool. So we just...
But permissions are handled. Oh, that's what I was saying. So if we claim this, no one can do anything here. Oh, yeah. No one can do anything in this claimed areas except for us because we're part of the team. Actually, Gazer, you're ops, so you're good. Here, want to join our team?
Oh.
FTP team, my team members, Gazer, and Tater, and Eagle. We're all not part of it, but they can be. Oh, on the crane. Yeah, I need to run it through my one that checks for permissions.
I'm on your team.
The machines that you ride do check. They're running their block break through a central module, block break helper kind of thing, that does the block utility. There it is. Where is it? Block break, and it fires the forge event. And if it's canceled or whatever, we return false without actually breaking the block. So it's handled.
Can you use hoppers on the crates?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Cool.
You can also use screens on them too, to sort right into them.
Screens on what? Oh yeah. Forgot
Yeah.
what a screen was it.
The sorter thing in my mind.
Yeah.
In fact, we use one over in the skeleton farm. So if you go down to the blasting operations over there,
Blasting operations.
yeah, I should share these with you, shouldn't I?
That's fine.
Chat. I'll give you the interesting ones.
Okay.
Chat. If you click those, you'll get them on your journey map thing.
God damn it.
That's probably all you really care about. For now, at least. So that's skeleton farm. If we go into the... No, not that building. Go down here. And hop on the people mover. There's a creeper in it, so let's make sure that thing dies. There we go. There's more than one? What the heck?
Yep.
But yeah, the screen, it used to be that you had to have a hopper on top of your chest, but now if there's an inventory, it'll just shove it right into the inventory. You don't care anymore. So that's why we put the screen there, because it can four-way pre-sort out all the drops from the skeletons for us.
Get a nice full bow and an arrow. I mean, and arrows.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, we found this because, like, we need it for killing the dragon, right? We found the end before we had enough arrows to even do anything. So, let's see. We've got the cows fed. I'm considering calling it a night because last night I was up till 2:30. It's 1:30 already. And today I fell asleep like, I don't know, 4 o'clock. I didn't wake up till 6:30, and then the day was over and I couldn't do anything, so.
I don't know what my plan was. So yeah, I might call it a night too. It's what? It's 6 a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna
Holy
say it's morning for you.
Yeah, but I woke up at like 3:30, I mean.
So
Don't know
you,
how that makes it better, but whatever.
yeah, I was gonna say, so you're just not gonna get any sleep then.
Pretty much.
But you're gonna sleep during the day. But
I slept between 10 and 3, so I'm fine.
oh, okay. Yeah. I do know what you mean, because that was me yesterday, only it was just different times of the day. Went to bed at like 3 o'clock and then got up at 8. Anyway, good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the suggestions for testing and everything. Sorry if I couldn't get to every single one of them. There was just too many coming through at one point, and nothing personal. It's just There's only so many things we can do at once, I guess. Good night. Bye. Kids, you can't shoot
Quack.
me. Quack.